When you're first learning how to play Eternal Return, one of the biggest pitfalls is not using your time efficiently, and this will result in you being under-leveled compared to your enemies. If this happens to you, stick around, because we're going to discuss what gives the most experience in the least amount of time. If that doesn't apply to you and you're always one step ahead of your opponents, then I ask you to stick around anyways, because while you may have an optimal path, maybe you don't understand the intricacies around leveling. After all, this information is not explicitly given to you. Your character's level is increased by gaining experience. Throughout the game, you will gain experience just by performing actions like searching containers, crafting, and fighting. More specifically, experience is gained through any one of the several masteries in the game. A mastery is tied to a specific character stat, and gaining experience towards a specific mastery will increase that stat. We will go through each of the masteries, and by the end we should have a good idea of how we can get the most experience out of each of our actions in-game. Weapon mastery is tied directly to the amount of damage our character deals. Each type of weapon levels damage differently, but they all increase through the same actions. Dealing damage to players or animals, killing players or animals, or crafting weapons. Some key takeaways from this are that crafting your weapon as a singular action will give you the most amount of experience. But in terms of overall experience, killing a player is the most high risk, high reward, followed by farming animals. Each of these actions take time and risk putting you in a disadvantageous position, but offer some of the most XP in the game when you consider that a single kill grants you experience from several masteries. One thing that could be overlooked is damage to players. 100 damage to a player grants 63 experience. This means that the damage you deal throughout the course of the fight will reward more experience than the kill alone. Even if you don't have any intention of fighting someone, dealing as little as 100 damage will make your character stronger. So consider poking enemies that loot near you. Hunt mastery determines the amount of damage you deal to animals. Your damage increases by 4% for each level, and experience is gained by dealing damage or taking damage from an animal, as well as killing them. This creates a snowball effect, wherein farming animals makes it easier to farm more animals. Farming animals also rewards experience in 3 masteries: weapon, hunt, and defense, meaning whatever the value of the kill is gets multiplied by 3. This means one-shotting chickens or taking wolves may be well worth the mana and time you would need to expend to kill them if it means that you can get a level in your ult early. Add to this the fact that most animals are on a 3-minute timer and are highly contested in the late game. Getting early levels in Hunt will help you secure farm later on. Craft Mastery increases the effect of items and grants experience for any item crafted. Just looking at this chart, we can see that crafting is a huge source of experience. Where uncommon items grant 200 and legendary items grant 1000. Crafting makes up a large portion of safe experience, meaning that crafting as an action is low risk and high reward, whereas killing enemies is high risk, high reward. Search Mastery grants experience for opening item boxes, air supplies, collecting resources like water, fish, and potatoes, as well as operating security consoles. Each level in Search grants your character extra vision range, which is vital for longer range or squishy characters to help them kite enemies and avoid dangerous scenarios. And for beefier melee characters, this stat can ensure that you don't lose track of that enemy that you've been chasing. Move Mastery is self-explanatory, but it grants you movement speed both in and out of combat. You can increase your Move Mastery by walking, moving to a new area, or crafting leg armor. This mastery has several implications to gameplay. You will see a lot of higher ranks crafting only when they get to an item box. This reduces the amount of downtime you need for both crafting and looting, and means that you will have more time to actually just walk around. Secondly, if you find yourself on the border of 2 areas early game, it might be worth it to step into the new area to claim the 180 XP, even if you intend on running straight back into the previous area. Health Mastery gives a player an extra 1% of max HP per level and gives experience for taking damage, crafting food, or expending HP on some characters. This means that avoiding all sources of damage is not necessarily a good thing, however counterintuitive that is. This means that you should have a healthy balance of allowing animals to damage you while healing up with food if you want to focus on getting your character's max HP up. Defense Mastery influences your defense stat, essentially how much incoming damage your character mitigates. A higher defense stat will reduce the amount of damage you take from both normal attacks as well as damage from skills. Defense is also the easiest to level since there are so many ways to gain experience. Most of these center around taking damage from any source, killing animals or players, as well as crafting items. If you want to learn more about defense and how damage is calculated, check out the next video. Meditation Mastery actually does not involve resting, which for most characters looks like they're meditating. The Meditation Mastery affects a character's max mana or SP as it's referred to in game. This mastery is leveled by using XP or crafting beverages. One thing to remember is that while skills are a great way to level meditation, many other actions use SP, like searching item boxes and using Hyperloop to teleport. Trap Mastery increases the amount of damage you deal with traps by 4% for every level. Trap Mastery is something that a lot of players will probably overlook, especially when you're first starting out. But learning how to craft a single type of trap early on is a great way to gain experience. Dealing 40 damage with a trap to a player or animal grants 150 or 50 experience respectively. On top of this, just setting a trap is worth 60 experience, and crafting a trap is worth 200 XP minimum. So, hypothetically, creating a simple bamboo trap, which only requires 2 items, setting it, and using it to kill a bat would be worth 470 experience. As you get better at the game, traps will also become much more common in the end game, and having 10 levels in Trap Mastery means that your traps will deal a whopping 40% more damage. So, to recap, let's order actions from the most to least experience. Number 1, player kills. Player kills are dangerous and sometimes time consuming, but they grant massive amounts of experience to skilled players who are willing to take the risk. 2, animal kills. Farming is necessary to ensure you aren't underleveled. Farm when it's safe, and farm often since it will grant you experience in 3 masteries. Number 3, crafting. Crafting far and away is the most safe and efficient use of your time to get experience. The minimum for any craft is 200 and they can be worth up to 1000 XP. Don't go out of your way to craft big XP items that you don't need, however, but do craft any and all food, beverage, and trap items you find along your way. Number 4, craft only while looting. You can press the tilde button on your keyboard next to the 1 key to quickly craft the first suggested item on the list. So after you click on an item box, immediately hit tilde so that you can craft and loot simultaneously. Always open new item boxes and use the security console when available. Number 5, exploring. Quickly stepping into a new zone can grant you a quick 180 experience that you might otherwise be missing out on. Always stay on the move. Number 6, using abilities. Lastly, don't be afraid to take a little damage, use your mana, or poke enemy players. These are prime ways to level up your health, meditation, and weapon masteries. Keep in mind, these are the current values that I've seen, and these could change in the future. But until those values change the overall playstyle, these tips will be applicable. I hope that you've learned something from this video. I know there's a lot to take in here, but the best way to learn anything in life is to break it up into manageable chunks. So I've provided timestamps below so that you can jump to any point in this video. I would advise trying to focus on 1 or 2 main takeaways and work on those, and then circle back and see if there's anything else from this video that you can work on. If you did learn something from this video, let me know you liked it by giving it a thumbs up. Good luck, and take it easy.
Hey, I'm streaming at twitch.tv/KDAD. Come check it out.